Hi, my name is Chanel Jones, owner of CM Fresh Start, and I just wanted to make this quick video to explain the difference between a collection and a charge-off. So there's 5 categories that make up your FICO score, and although they all play a major role, your payment history is the most significant category because it makes up 35% of your credit score. I mean, if you really think about it, the whole purpose of you having a credit report is for lenders to be able to look at it and determine whether or not if they lend you this money, will you pay them back, and will you pay them back on time and as agreed. So even though both collections and charge-offs are considered derogatory accounts and both do drop your scores pretty dramatically, a collection and a charge-off are actually 2 completely different things as a result of the same actions. You not paying your bills or you not paying back your debts. Late payments could drop your score anywhere between 50 and 150 points depending on how many times you've been late or how late you are. So 60, 90, 30, whatever, it depends on how much it'll drop. But a charge-off will occur when you go 180 days without making that payment. At this point, the creditor or the company will usually close your account, giving up on you being this ideal customer, client, or consumer, whatever, and they write it off as a loss on their profit and loss statement. And then they go back and they charge it as a bad debt on your credit, warning other lenders not to lend to you. Now you have both the late payments and the charge-off listed on your credit report. And a single charge-off lowers your credit score even more substantially because, again, payment history makes up 35% of your credit score. Lower credit means higher insurance rates, larger housing and utility deposits, which is why you have to pay $150 or more for that cable. It means higher interest rates, and it means you'll be denied for new loans and credit. Now, them charging off that account does not mean your debt is forgiven. That's just for their own accounting purposes. They charge off accounts for their benefits, not yours. And as long as that charge off remains unpaid, unless you settle with them or you file for a certain type of bankruptcy or the statute of limitations in your state has been reached, you are still responsible to pay back that debt. Again, you are still legally obligated to pay back the amount you owe, and they still have the right to come after you for it. So you can rest assured that that creditor still wants their money and they're going to do what they can to get it. Some creditors will sue you in court for what you owe and request a garnishment on your wages to get it. And some may hire or contract a third-party company to help them collect on the debt that you owe. Now, this is where collection companies and collections come into play. Once the creditor writes off your debt, some creditors will then sell or transfer your delinquent account to a collection agency or to a debt buyer. Now, at this point, the original creditor is no longer allowed to report a balance due on the charged off account. Let me say that again. Once the original creditor sells or transfers that account to a collection company, they are no longer allowed to report a balance due on that charged off account because the balance is no longer due on that account. The debt is now owed to the collection company. However, the charge off itself and all the late payments that are attached to that account will still remain on your credit for 7 years. It's just like a late payment. They all remain on your credit for 7 years. The 7-year clock starts on the date of the last scheduled payment that you did not make, and it does not restart once the debt is sold to a collection agency or a debt buyer. And paying the charge off will not remove it from your credit. The account status is simply changed to charge off paid or charge off settled, depending on whether or not you paid it in full or you paid in a settlement. Unless, however, that account is reporting an error and you dispute it. See, what most people don't know is that there's hundreds of rules and guidelines that all these companies and these accounts must meet, and the simplest error is grounds for removal. Because by law, you have not only the right for everything on your credit to belong to you, but it must be 100% accurate and complete. Otherwise, they must remove it. So I hope this helps clear up the difference between a charge-off and a collection. And if you do have a charge-off or a collection, or maybe you have some questions, you can always click the link below or in our bio to schedule a free phone consultation to speak with one of our credit specialists to see what we can do to help you get to where you want to be. Thanks for listening.